Hello, this is Daniel and welcome to the fifth part of this character modeling tutorial series. In this episode we're going to sculpt the face and the hair, and I'm particularly going to talk about the primary shapes that make up faces in this particular style. Before we get started, here are a few announcements that I want to make. First and foremost, many of you have asked me for reference material for the images that I've been using, and I decided to provide them. You can find the link in the description of this video and the previous parts, so feel free to download those and to work along. The second question that I've been receiving is whether I'm able to provide real-time recordings. And I've also decided to publish the real-time recordings of my progress, and I'll be publishing those alongside this series, and the first part will probably be up on Monday. So please, if you're interested, take a look at that. Maybe it's interesting and it will give you a chance to sort of look more into the details of what is going on in the time lapse. And finally, the third question I've been receiving a lot is whether you can follow this tutorial with Blender. And my answer to this, as always, is yes, definitely. Why not? Because Blender and ZBrush are just tools, and I believe that they're both similarly powerful. So definitely do that. And for those of you who are actually interested in trying ZBrush but don't want to spend the money, ZBrush has actually just released a free version of ZBrush. It's called ZBrush Core Mini, I believe, and it's a very, very reduced version of ZBrush. So give it a try if you want, just play around with ZBrush and maybe you like it. So with those announcements out of the way, let's get started with this week's contents. So then let us get started with this week's task. We'll be sculpting the details for the face, and the first thing that I want to do is to separate the parts that I'll be working with. You can see me here in ZBrush selecting only the parts that I need, and then in the subtools panel on the right side, I'll be making a copy of my subtool and then separate by selection. In this way I have them separated, and I just want to make sure that what I created earlier is still available. So I'm just making sure that within my subtools I have a copy with just the isolated part and also my previous progress. And now I'm using Dynamesh to merge everything together as I did already. And from here on, I'm going to speed everything a little bit up. I'm very sorry that I can't really go into detail about every single step, but I'll do my best to talk you through the progress. The first thing that you want to do here in ZBrush or Blender or whatever you use is to just to blend the shapes together. You know, we started out with primitive shapes. You just blend them together and you just use your references to roughly bring them into shape. You want to look at the overall proportions of the things, you know, the thickness of the neck, for example, the transitions between the volumes, just smooth things out a little bit. It's not really too much about the details at this point. And now that we have roughly everything in place, I also want to quickly lay out the hair. I usually like to work on all my parts at the same time, so I won't be finishing the hair only and then move on to the face or the other way around. So while my face is still in a very rough shape, I still go ahead and add the hair and just try to get rough volume in. Actually, throughout this project I've struggled quite a lot with the hair. So you'll see me change it quite a bit actually throughout this video. That's one of the reasons why I chose not to do live commentary, by the way, because there's going to be many steps where I try something and it doesn't work out, and then I have to go back and change it, and I would feel kind of sorry for those people who, you know, would follow along hoping that that's the right thing, just to be told later on that that's actually not going to be working out. It's always exploration, and here you can see me do the first step for the hair. So the next thing that we're going to be working on, or the next thing that I chose to work on in this project, is the body actually. I'm leaving the details of the face for a little bit later. For now, I just want to get the body a little bit into shape. Now, I know that in this design, we actually won't be seeing much of the body at all. I'm not going to bother sculpting the entire body because we're just going to have trouble with intersections with the cloth later anyways. So right now I just want to get sort of the shoulders all right, you know, those parts that we'll be seeing. And I don't have too much to share actually about that. All I can give you for advice is that you should look at reference, look at shoulders, and try to always think about the simple shapes. I know that, when you look at the human body, there is lots of details that you can get hung up on, like the bony regions, for example, around the neck. And you might want to really emphasize those, but those are not the important shapes. You want to think about the big volume that makes up the shoulder, and the very round shape that makes up the whole chest area. So that's the things you want to look out for. And really, it's not too important. I want to talk more about the face, and I'll be going more into detail about what basic shapes make up the face here in this next step. Now it's almost time for us to move on to the face. I'm just going to finish up very quickly by, if there's any rough transitions, or if I've forgotten to polish something, I'm just going to make my last corrections. And when this is then sort of done, the proportions are fine, we'll now be moving on to detailing the face. And I want you to again think about the basic shapes that make up the face, and in order to tell you what the basic shapes are, I will be making some draw-overs and sort of describe the details. So let's get started. You can see I've now switched to Photoshop, and in here I want to draw over a screenshot from my recording to point out to you some of the most important shapes that make up the style that we're working on. So the first shape that I'm drawing in here at the moment is, in my opinion, the most important shape that makes up this style. You see that you have one large, almost plain area on the side of the face, and one triangle that makes then up the chin. You see that it's not all connected in one straight plain face. You see that the chin is sort of curved downwards, as I just showed here, and that's what makes up the silhouette from the front view if you think about it. The triangle at the bottom is the line of the chin, and then the big face on the side is this line here, and then you really only have this curvature on the top left that sort of makes up the face. And if you were to draw both sides, you can imagine it sort of connects like this. You want to have the silhouette from the front, and that's why these shapes are so important, to have them plain and straight. If you look at them from the side, however, you see that the face, the front side now, is made up of several planes that sometimes face downwards and upwards. First of all, this area between the nose and the chin is facing downwards. You can easily see that if I draw in the lines like this, just like that. And then just above that, from the eye line to the nose, there is another face that sort of points upwards. And then finally, if we continue to do the same thing again until the eyebrows, you see another face that shows and sort of faces downwards. And then finally, the head is really just a nice curvature that makes up the rest of the head. And these are the most important basic shapes that you definitely want to have very solidly represented in your model. The nose is then, almost a secondary shape. It kind of breaks up a little bit the primary shapes that we have already defined, but you can easily draw it in this way, make it pointy or a little bit more round. That's up to you. But you can see that these primary shapes are the ones that you must have. Otherwise, your sculpt may look a little bit strange. Now here we are one more time in ZBrush, and I want to show you one more thing. I've tried to simplify the face that I've created into these sort of simplified shapes. However, I don't think I did a very good job in this. That's why I'm not sharing this as my main resource for you, but I still wanted to show it to you because it clarifies a little bit what I was talking about before. First of all, you can see that we have this large face on the side that makes up, well, basically the entire side of the face. You can also see that we have this little triangle that points to the chin, And you can also see on the front of the face these areas that I talked about that face up and down. The chin is a little bit pointy though, and I'm not too sure about the representation of the mouth. It has a curvature for sure, but those are some areas that I recommend you think about yourself. Look at all the references that I provided you and drawings from other artists, and make sure you figure out these primary shapes, because these are going to be the foundation of your sculpt. Now here we are back to our ZBrush project, and I'm now starting to work on the face. You see that I'm already indicating for myself this shape that I talked about, because I want to make sure that I'm getting it right. I want to look at it from the front and make sure that the line on the side of my face is straight, but then when I go into the side view, I want to make sure that the cheek is properly higher than where the eyes are. I'm also sometimes actually making some harder surfaces on purpose, just to really emphasize the edges and the important shapes that make up my face. And it's only later when I go back to smoothen out my sculpt a little bit more. And I'm really speeding up my recording here at this point, because although I'm trying to summarize this whole process in roughly 15 minutes, it is a process that took me around 2 hours or a little bit longer. So I hope that by doing this, I can summarize the most important points without having to show you all the boring parts. You can see that at first I tried to work as much as I can with the move brush to bring things into shape, but now that things are mostly in place, I switch to the clay brush and I start to really make the details, the harder edges and so on. I'm not going into too much detail though, because actually, although I said that I would be detailing the face, I don't want the finished sculpt to be sort of a perfect, deliverable, finished face. I just want it to be a very good representation of the shape, because we're going to retopologize it anyways, and many of the details we can't really transfer to our retopologized mesh, and therefore I'm mostly interested just in getting the shape really, really spot on. Things like the eyelashes and things like that are things that I'm going to be modeling with polygons anyways later on. And so you can see me, I've jumped now back to the hair, and I'm really going to be struggling for a long time with this. It's best usually if you can find your shape right at the very beginning, and then, when it's decided, the rough shape is already in place, then you just go in and add the details. However, sometimes as you go and as you make progress, as you add more details, sometimes things will look a little bit off. For example, I had too much volume in my hair, or I wasn't maybe happy with the curvature of it. It didn't really represent my character well enough. So I'm going back and I'm pushing it a lot around, I'm smoothing it out again, I'm adding detail again, and it's kind of a long process, and again, another reason why I'm not doing a live commentary this time around. But you see, after probably half an hour, I reached a point where I was kind of happy with it. Now, I'm going back to the face at this point, and I'm starting to just correct the volumes a little bit. I'm always looking at the silhouette, making sure that from all angles the silhouette, which is the most important part, has exactly the curve that I want. And then I begin to indicate the eyes a little bit more. Now the eyes are a little bit difficult, and it's quite easy to make them too high, so I select an entire area and push it in, as I did just now. And it's very tempting to go into too much detail and to really try to finish the eyes with all its details, but I recommend you not to do so. Even I decided to just very roughly indicate where my eyes are going to be. I'm not even going to make a separate mesh for the pupil at the moment. These are all things that I'm going to look more into when the time comes, when I'm done with the cloth draft and so on, when I'm really ready to move to Blender for the next steps in the character creation process. So here you can see I have now sort of finished the face. I think we have still to add the mouth, but the eyes are alright now. I'm still working on the hair. As you can see, I was not happy after all, so I'm correcting the shape. Oh, and by the way, I should maybe mention this. It's not going to be on this video, but a little bit later, something I'm going to be showing in the next part, I realized that my head is kind of too small in comparison to the body, so I will be even adjusting that one more time, scaling up the head as a whole, including the hair. So things like that can happen, but it's actually these kind of things that we should try to avoid in these early stages, because the later you do such large changes, the more difficult it will be, and that's why we should avoid them. So at this point, I think we're now at the point where I'm quite happy with the hair that I've created. The last thing that's going to be left now is to do the mouth, and the mouth can be very tricky, or actually really the last element that you add to the face is usually the most tricky, because it kind of finishes the face, and you know, it's kind of hard to find the perfectly matching mouth for the eyes and nose. I understand that feeling, but just do it a couple of times and you'll reach it. The way I approached it, let's see, I'm still adding a little bit of an extra strand to my hairs just to finish off the hair and to make it a little bit more complicated, so that I have a better idea of what the hair is going to be looking like. And now we are finally at the mouth, what I was talking about. You see, it took me 3 attempts to get the mouth right. I start with the upper lip usually. I just, add some volume with the build-up brush, and I tried to mask the upper lip and pull out the lower lip, but I undid that one more time. But after a few tries, a little bit of back and forth, and a little bit of frustration, I finally found something that sort of works. I'm going to be doing more details and optimizations later on when I do the retopology, so I have sort of decided that that's good enough for now. And here we are with the face and the hair now in a more detailed stage, and quite a good progress if you ask me for 1 week of recording everything and making a tutorial out of this. So anyways, I'm hoping that next week I can go more into topics like the cloth. And with that, we're mostly done with this tutorial, so I'm just going to go back to our slides and conclude this video. So then let me say one more time, thank you for watching. This was the 5th part in this character modeling tutorial series, and today we sculpted the face as well as the hair, and we went through some theory about the primary shapes that make up the face. If you enjoyed this video and learned something, please give it a like, comment and subscribe, and as always you can also support me through Patreon, where I am also sharing some of the exclusive content. The links are in the description, and I'm looking forward to see you again next time.